Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the studio. You are tuning in to Episode 8 of Module 4 of the Blueprint for Effortless English. I am your co-host, Ben.
And I am Anna. Welcome back, everyone. We are getting incredibly close to the end of our real-world architecture module. You have built an amazing toolkit for navigating the corporate world over the last 7 episodes.
You absolutely have. We started by upgrading your vocabulary with code switching, we conquered the boardroom in Episode 2, and we taught you how to negotiate, persuade, and give difficult feedback face-to-face.
In our last episode, Episode 7, we moved from the physical office to the virtual office. We taught you how to handle laggy video calls, virtual interruptions, and traditional telephone etiquette. You learned how to project confidence through a microphone.
But today, we are taking away your microphone completely. We are taking away your camera, your body language, and your vocal tone. Today, we are diving into the most dangerous and misunderstood form of corporate communication.
Today is Episode 8, and we are talking about email versus spoken tone. We are going to teach you how to write professional emails that get immediate results without accidentally offending your coworkers.
Before we decode the hidden language of corporate emails, we have our usual quick favor to ask. If you are serious about mastering these advanced business scenarios and you want to support this course, please hit that like button and subscribe to the English Chatcast channel.
Your support helps us reach ambitious professionals all over the world who are trying to find their voice in English. Thank you so much for being part of this journey.
Let us talk about the danger of email, Anna. For a lot of English learners, writing an email feels much safer than speaking up in a meeting. You have time to look up words in the dictionary, you can check your grammar, and you do not have to worry about your pronunciation.
It feels safer, but it is actually a massive trap. The problem with email is that text is completely flat. When you speak to someone in the break room, you use your vocal inflection, your smile, and your hand gestures to show them that you are friendly.
Exactly. You can say something very direct like, "I need that report right now." But if you say it with a huge smile and a laugh, the other person knows you are just teasing them or being lighthearted.
But if you type the exact same sentence into an email, "I need that report right now," the smile disappears. The other person just stares at black text on a white screen, and human psychology does a terrible thing when we read neutral text.
We assume the worst. Psychologists call it the negativity bias. If an email can be read in 2 different voices, a neutral voice or an angry voice, the reader will almost always read it in the angry voice in their head.
If a manager emails you and says, "We need to talk," your brain instantly assumes you are going to be fired, even if the manager just wants to talk about ordering pizza for lunch. Your brain supplies an angry, threatening tone to those 4 words.
Because of this negativity bias, direct translation from spoken English to written English completely fails. You have to actively inject warmth, diplomacy, and extreme politeness into your emails to prevent the other person from reading them aggressively.
Today, we are breaking down written corporate English into 3 pillars. Pillar number 1 is the softening buffer. Pillar number 2 is decoding corporate email speak. And pillar number 3 is formatting for the Executive Skim.
Let us start with pillar number 1, the softening buffer. When you walk up to someone's desk, you do not just immediately start demanding things. You say good morning, you ask how they are doing, and then you ask your question.
You have to replicate that social buffer in your emails. You cannot just write an email that says, "Send me the marketing data." That is incredibly rude. You have to open the email with a pleasantry.
The absolute classic opening buffer in English business emails is, "I hope this email finds you well."
I hope this email finds you well. It is a little bit formal, but it is universally accepted. It proves that you acknowledge their humanity before you demand their labor.
If you are emailing a close coworker, you can use a slightly more casual buffer. You can say, "I hope you are having a great week." Or if it is a Monday, you can say, "I hope you had a great weekend."
Once you have opened the email, you have to soften your actual request. In spoken English, you might say, "Can you send me that file?" In an email, we upgrade our modal verbs to create maximum distance and politeness.
The absolute best phrase for making an email request is, "Would it be possible for you to—"
Would it be possible for you to send over the marketing data by this afternoon? Look at how much cushioning that sentence has. You are not commanding them. You are gently inquiring about the possibility of them doing you a favor.
Another fantastic softening phrase for email is, "I was wondering if you could." I was wondering if you could review this document when you have a spare moment.
We actually taught you that phrase in episode 1 for spoken English, but it is even more critical in written English. It completely removes any aggressive tone from your request.
Now let us talk about the exclamation point. This is a very strange cultural phenomenon in American and British business emails. In traditional grammar, an exclamation point is used for shouting or extreme excitement.
But in corporate email culture, the exclamation point is used as a tone indicator to prove that you are not angry. If a coworker emails you a file and you reply by simply typing "thanks" with a period at the end, it actually looks passive-aggressive.
It looks like you are annoyed. "Thanks" period means I am angry. But if you type "thanks" exclamation point, it means you are genuinely appreciative and friendly.
Thanks so much for sending this over. I will take a look this afternoon.
But there is a limit. If you put an exclamation point at the end of every single sentence, you look unprofessional and slightly manic. The rule of thumb is to use 1, maybe 2 exclamation points per email, usually at the very beginning or the very end, just to establish a warm tone.
Which brings us perfectly to pillar number 2, decoding corporate email speak. This is the most fascinating part of office culture. Because native speakers are terrified of sounding aggressive in emails, they have developed a secret, highly diplomatic code to express their frustration.
It is basically professional passive aggression. Native speakers will use extremely polite phrases that actually contain a hidden, much sharper meaning. If you do not understand the code, you will completely miss the urgency of the email.
Let us start with the most famous one, per my last email.
Oh, per my last email is legendary. When someone writes per my last email, what they are actually saying is, "I already told you the answer to this question. You clearly did not read my previous message, and I am annoyed that I have to repeat myself."
It is the corporate equivalent of an eye roll. If you receive an email with that phrase, you know you have frustrated the sender. But you should try to avoid using it yourself because it can escalate the tension.
If you need to remind someone of a previous message, a much safer, more diplomatic phrase is, "as mentioned previously." As mentioned previously, the deadline is Thursday. It is softer and less accusatory.
Another classic phrase is, "just following up on this."
Just following up means you ignored my last email, I need an answer, and I am not going away until you give me one. It is a polite nudge. You use this when someone owes you a response, but they have gone silent.
You can also say, circling back on this thread. It means the exact same thing. It brings the email back to the top of their inbox without forcing you to say, "Why have you not answered me yet?"
What about the phrase going forward? We talked about moving forward in our feedback episode, and going forward is very similar. When a manager writes, Going forward, please ensure all reports are formatted this way. They are actually saying, you did it wrong this time. Do not ever do it wrong again.
It is a gentle correction wrapped in future-oriented language. It softens the blow of the criticism.
Here is another great one. Please advise. You will see this at the end of an email.
Please advise usually means I am completely stuck, I do not know what to do next, and I need you to make a decision because this is now your problem. It transfers the responsibility from the sender to the reader.
And we have to talk about the phrase, to clarify. If someone replies to your email and starts with, to clarify, they are usually saying, you completely misunderstood my point and I am about to correct your logic.
It is a defensive phrase used to protect their position when a miscommunication happens.
Knowing this hidden language allows you to read between the lines. You will understand the true emotional temperature of the office, and you will know exactly when a project is starting to go off the rails.
Which leads us to pillar number 3, formatting for the executive skim. Even if you use the perfect softening buffers and master the corporate code, your email will fail if it is too difficult to read.
English learners often write emails the same way they write academic essays. They write massive blocks of text with long, complex sentences. They think it makes them look intelligent.
But in the corporate world, nobody has time to read a novel. Executives and managers receive hundreds of emails a day. They do not read emails, they skim them. They scan the page looking for the absolute most critical information.
If your email looks like a giant wall of text, the executive will just close it and say, I will read this later. And later usually means never.
You have to format your emails for maximum readability. You have to use the B.L.U.F method. B.L.U.F. It stands for bottom line up front.
Bottom line up front means you state the primary purpose of the email in the very first sentence. You do not build up to a grand conclusion. You give them the conclusion immediately, and then you provide the supporting details.
Let us say you need your boss to approve a budget increase. The wrong way to write the email is to start by explaining all the problems with the current budget, detailing every single expense, and then asking for the money in the final paragraph.
The right way is to use the B.L.U.F method. After your pleasantry, your first sentence should be, I am writing to request approval for a 10% budget increase on the marketing project.
Then you use white space and bullet points to break down your reasoning. White space is your best friend in an email. Hit the Enter key. Keep your paragraphs to 2 or 3 sentences maximum.
And use bullet points whenever you have a list of items or a series of steps. Bullet points draw the eye perfectly. They make the information look manageable and highly organized.
You should also use bold text strategically. If there is a specific deadline or an action item that the other person absolutely must see, make that text bold.
For example, you write, please submit your final revisions by bold text Thursday at noon, bold text. This guarantees that even if they skim the email in 3 seconds, their eyes will lock onto the deadline.
Let us put all of these pillars into perspective. Ben and I are going to read 2 versions of the exact same email.
Hi, Anna. I wanted to check in on the status of the logo design. It was due yesterday, and I'm feeling a little bit frustrated.
In the first version, Ben is going to write exactly what he is thinking. He is going to write a direct, spoken-style email with no softening buffers and bad formatting. Listen to how aggressive it sounds.
Here is version 1. Subject line, logo update. Anna, where is the logo design? You promised it would be done yesterday. Send it to me right now because the client is waiting and I am getting in trouble. Let me know. Ben.
Wow, If I received that email, my heart rate would instantly spike. I would be furious.
It is terrible. It is a wall of aggressive text. I used direct demands, I blamed her, and I used 0 pleasantries. It sounds like a threat.
Now let us do version 2. Ben is going to use the same frustration, but he is going to translate it into polished, diplomatic, corporate English. He will use a softening buffer, the secret code, and the B.L.U.F method.
Listen to the difference. Take 2. Subject line. Status check regarding new logo design.
Hi, Anna. I hope you are having a great week! Exclamation point. Just circling back on the new logo design, would it be possible to get a quick status update on your progress today?
As mentioned previously, the client is expecting to review the initial drafts by tomorrow morning. Please let me know if you need any additional resources from my end to help get this across the finish line. Best, Ben.
And scene. That is a masterpiece of written communication.
It is completely flawless. Let us break down the exact mechanics Ben used to get what he wants without starting an office war.
I started with a polite subject line, status check regarding new logo design. Then I used my opening buffer. I hope you are having a great week. And I included 1 exclamation point to establish a friendly tone.
Then he used the corporate code. He said, just circling back on the new logo design. Circling back is the polite way of saying, you are late and I am waiting for you.
I used the B.L.U.F method by stating my request immediately. I used my softening modal verb. I asked, would it be possible to get a quick status update on your progress today?
He reminded me of the deadline using diplomatic language. He said, as mentioned previously, the client is expecting to review it. He did not say, you promised it yesterday. He shifted the pressure to the client's expectations.
And I closed with a collaborative offer. I asked if she needed any additional resources from my end to get it across the finish line. I made it sound like we were a team working together to solve a problem.
Finally, he used a professional sign-off. He said, best, then.
Let us quickly touch on sign-offs, actually. They are the handshake at the end of the email. Best is the safest, most universal sign-off in the business world.
You can also use regards or warm regards if you want to be a bit more formal. Many professionals use cheers, especially in the UK or in more casual tech environments.
Just avoid overly formal sign-offs like sincerely yours, which sounds like you are writing a legal contract, or yours truly, which sounds a bit romantic for the office. Stick to best or regards, and you will always be safe.
When you master these written techniques, you completely control your professional image. You build a reputation as someone who is highly organized, emotionally intelligent, and a pleasure to work with.
People will actually respond to your emails faster because they know your emails are easy to read and never contain hidden aggression. You become an incredibly effective communicator.
Which brings us to your mission for episode 8. It is time for you to clean up your inbox.
Your homework for this week is the email audit. We want you to open your sent folder at work and look at the last 5 emails you wrote in English.
Read them carefully and evaluate your tone. Did you use a softening buffer, like, I hope you are having a great week? Did you use modal verbs to soften your requests, or did you use direct commands?
Did you format them for the Executive Skim? Are they big walls of text, or did you use the bottom line up front method with white space and bullet points?
We want you to choose one of those sent emails that you feel was a little too direct, and we want you to rewrite it.
Upgrade it using the tools we taught you today. Add the buffers, use the corporate code, and fix the formatting.
Come down into the comments section of this episode and paste your original sentence, and then paste your upgraded diplomatic rewrite. We want to see how you are applying this real-world architecture to your daily tasks.
You guys are absolutely leveling up. You can navigate the casual break room, the high-pressure boardroom, the virtual video call, and now the complex psychology of the corporate inbox.
You are building a complete, indestructible professional edge, but there is one final arena we have not conquered yet. It is the single most terrifying scenario for almost every professional on Earth, regardless of their native language.
I know exactly what you were talking about. What happens when you have to stand up in front of an entire room of people, click to the first slide of your presentation, and speak continuously for 20 minutes?
Public speaking. It is the ultimate test of your English fluency and your executive presence, and that is exactly what we are covering in our next episode.
In Episode 9, we are diving into presentation secrets. We're going to teach you how to hook your audience in the first 30 seconds, how to transition smoothly between your PowerPoint slides, and how to handle the terrifying question and answer session at the end.
It is going to be a masterclass in holding the room and projecting absolute authority. You definitely will not want to miss it as we approach the end of this module.
But for today, focus on your written diplomacy. Soften your buffers, use your exclamation points wisely, remember the BLUF method, and always circle back politely.
I am Ben.
And I am Anna.
If you feel ready to write flawless professional emails today, please hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. Let us keep building this real-world architecture together. Until next time, keep practicing, keep listening, and remember, learning English with us is
A piece of cake. Thanks for listening, everyone. See you next time on the English Chatcast.